but we're, you know, we're high compared to some other companies like Covidian, which mainly produces a lot of commodity type products. So we've been able to get good bang for our R&D buck over the years. So before I transition to BD Technologies, any questions? Silence.
Business, rapid cancer diagnostic. Did I understand correctly?
Rapid cancer diagnostic? Well, we acquired TriPath a couple of years ago, which is a local company here in Park. Well, actually based in Burlington. They have two parts of their business. One part is molecular pap smears. So I don't need to explain what a pap smear is, but what they have are markers, dyes that they add to the pap smear to be able to more rapidly determine whether there are cells of interest or a problem there that need further screening. So that's kind of becomes more of an automated process as opposed to the early days of pap smears. I used to work in a clinical lab for a couple of years when I was in school, where everything had to be looked at individually under a microscope. So these are more rapid screening methods of a pap smear for cervical cancer. But they're also looking at developing up molecular diagnostics based upon markers in the blood, where you could have a blood test, which will tell you if you may have a cancer, or may help give you a staging of the cancer, or how far the cancer might have progressed. But the initial focus on these is earlier detection. Ovarian cancer, for example, is a deadly disease because it's usually diagnosed when it's at its very late stages. We are looking to see, and it can only really be diagnosed by the ultrasound or actually going in physically and checking. We're actually looking, our TriPath group is actually looking to develop a blood test, which could, just like PSA for men, a comparable type test to be able to say, there's some markers here, this is suspicious, you need to go in and get an ultrasound and get tested earlier on. So, because I think ovarian, if you catch it early, stage 1 or stage 2, very good chance of beating it. But typically it's diagnosed in stage 3 or stage 4 where it's terminal, and then treatment options becomes still a lot tougher. So trying to get diagnosing cancer earlier on in the game. So BD Technologies, BD was actually one of the first companies to move into the park back when the park was established. This slide is a little bit dated, but I think we moved in here in the late 70s. So it was when RTP was really growing. So we were one of the first companies to kind of take up residence, seeing that this looked like it was going to be a hub for innovation, close to all the universities, all the stars seemed to be aligning. So we made the investment in here. And that Corporate Technology Research Center here has undergone some changes over the years as well. What we do at BD Technologies is develop platform technologies for the three businesses that I just explained. And we are also a very highly collaborative organization, because just about every program that we're doing has an external element to it. So when you hear about companies, we don't like to do the not invented here syndrome. We really don't have that at BDT down the road. All of our programs, because we're a small organization, we have about 150, 160 people. We have four platform area programs going on. So that's about 35 people to a program. Those aren't big programs. So we need to be able to supplement them through collaboration, through partnership, or with academics as well as with other companies. Also to government agencies. We've have been, John Meister personally has been very active in getting government grants to support a lot of the work that we want to do, especially in the drug delivery area, that have maybe biodefense application applications, but also may also serve public health as well. So kind of you get a 2-for-1 there. We do technology strategy, development, sourcing, licensing, and acquisition. So sometimes if we see stuff that's going on the outside that is better or working better than what we have internally, we'll go out and acquire it and bring it in-house and develop it. We have a number of our programs there that were based on intellectual property licensed from the university. We also have BioVenture Center incubation, and we're part of our BE event. We're linked up to our corporate offices in New Jersey, our ventures arm, which does venture investing on a strategic basis, not on a financial strategy basis. So I'll tell you about the BioVenture Center in a minute or so, but let me tell you a little bit about how we function at BD Technologies to create technology, to create valuable technology. And for somebody who's been in biotech and pharmaceutical industry for many years, I was always very used to organizations having a very key focus. I mean, in pharmaceutical companies, I mean, really biology and chemistry are king. Everything kind of drives around that. At BDT, it's been very interesting that we actually have on each of these, just about on each of these project areas that we have 4 technology platform areas. Let me go from the bottom up. So the 4 areas we work on are on parenteral drug delivery, injectable type drugs, what we call advanced diabetes technologies, or new technologies or diagnostics or drug delivery systems to deal with the growing pandemic of diabetes around the world. I mean, diabetes now affects probably over 200 million people worldwide. Cell and tissue technologies, working with stem cells and research techniques and capabilities that stem cell workers will need to advance that science. We have some proprietary technology that we develop that we work and collaborate with academics as well as companies who have interest in developing stem cells for either drug discovery, for therapy, or for producing proteins that then are made into drugs. And the final one we call Biosense, which is our diagnostics, looking at advanced or new types of diagnostic type platforms. So we have each of those 4 basic those focus areas, as we call them. And what they do is, they actually are written right there, so we're moving right up. So what they do is they combine folks who have biology, chemistry, engineering, material sciences, bioinformatics, nanotechnology, life science, and technical skills combined with a life science business development manager, somebody like me. So we kind of function as 4 little biotech companies with a research team and a business person supporting that research team. And a business person, people like me, what we do is if we need to get technology or intellectual property outside of the organization, we'll negotiate those agreements. Or if we need to form a collaboration with an academic or another company, we'll negotiate those agreements as well. So we help the scientists. We're not there on the bench doing science with them, but what we're doing is trying to help them supplement, get their needs, get them interacting with people that can help advance their research. You link all that together, and more recently what we've been doing is we have our own clinical development organization there too, so we can then, when we start testing these ideas in animals, we can then move beyond into actually patients. Right now we usually do a couple of clinical trials each year to test these things out. People will say, oh yeah, they work great in a pig, but what about a person? Well, okay, we'll start testing in people. And we also have our own intellectual property lawyer there. So it's like 4 little biotech companies, but highly multidisciplinary, as opposed to a biotech company that's going to have a very focused expertise. Here we have very broad scale of putting biologists and chemists and engineers and